last week we told about the internet and the world identity. If I'm revise very quickly, that's my tradition normally. Once you go for the internet, we learn internet as the largest network. We learned it in our network lesson as well, which covers the whole world. And this internet is giving you many more services. One such service is World Wide Web and even emailing. Sometimes we can go for chatting. Even we can go for video conferencing like today. So then these are many more services where we are going to use with the internet. Among them, worldwide is only one service where we can access. Now, if I have to explain that service, it is to say that provide web pages or accessing web pages through the internet is called as World Wide Web. Now, by that time, we told the technical requirements, there should be a web server. You can remember that. This is called as web server. What is the role of the web server? It is holding the web pages and providing the web pages to the community, providing the web pages to the users. So then this must be definitely connected into the internet, and then users from around the world are accessing the web pages available in the web server. So that's the aspect. On the other way around, we told that into the web server, this should be a mainframe computer, or it has powerful hardware resources connected. As an example, CPU, the RAM, and even the storage. So they should be powerful to serve large number of users. And under the web server, there should be some special softwares to be installed to make it as a web server. What are they? We can say that IIS, Internet Information Service, from the Microsoft package, and even we told that Apache Tomcat. So then these are some different types of web server softwares where we can install into our web server. Then they may act as the web server. This is acting as client server system. What is this client server? Web pages have to be requested from the client, from the server. So clients are making a request, servers are responding. So that's why we need to say that servers are essential to continue the websites. And servers are always responding, clients are always requesting. Clients are using a software called as web browser. So if you go for a web browser, that is having the features to make request from the website. Then what they do is from the web server, web browser, we enter the web address, URL. Then through the internet, we are connecting to the web server and bringing the web page onto your user. So then these are the things we learn. And finally, we told about the different types of web pages we have. Among them, we told that we have news websites, even we have forums, we have blogs. So depending on the information they provide, we are going to categorize them into different categories. So finally, we told about forums, which is also called as a news group, which is allowing us to continue our discussions. So blog, if you can remember, is a website maintained by an individual where that person can publish his own post into it, just like a personal diary. So then these are some areas we cover. The HTML part. Right. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Right. What is this HTML? This is a computer language. It's a language, Hypertext Markup Language. Now, once you go for the computer language called as HTML, this is a language where we can or where we have to use when making web pages. This is a language to make web pages. So we all know that in our web server, this is a server, we are saving the web pages. Web pages are already stored inside the web server. In order to keep them available, we have to make them. So while making the web pages, we use a language called as HTML. So this is a scripting language where the user can create web pages to publish them on the internet. Right, now this HTML has been developed from long ago, came up with many different versions. So the first version came in 1991. We don't need that in our paper, but I just tell you. So that is called as HTML version 1.0. Then it gradually develops and came into the version called as HTML 4.1. That was in around 1999. I think by that time you are not born even. So then that's called as HTML 4.01. Right. So this was used up to the recent past nicely, no problem. But in the modern world, we are using HTML 5 version 5.0 that was introduced in around 2014. And this is the version where we are using into our syllabus. So then we should know how to practice codes in HTML5. HTML version 1 was there, 2, 3, likewise we had versions. Then when it comes to HTML5, this is having more features, more codes, more operations than the earlier versions. That's the situation. Latest version has more features. That's why we are developing things. Now, by that time, once you go for HTML5, is that to say that it has a separate, different set of codes than the earlier version, or is this version, the latest version, is accepting the previous codes as well? That is the development, especially in ICT. So what the modern versions are, they are accepting all the codes we had in the previous version, as well as some new codes are also added into it. Therefore, when we are using HTML5, the codes we had in HTML4, HTML3 are also accepted. Understand that HTML language is entered into a text editor. These words are important for you. Text editor. What are text editors? Normally in our Windows environment, we use Notepad. I told you that in order to make web pages, we are using Notepad. So I'll explain that on the board and then do a work with the computer as well. Now this is what the Notepad is. Then we told that the relevant code has to be entered into Notepad text editor. Right. Now normally the HTML coding is starting from the element called as HTML. So this is called as the tag. Normally the HTML elements are entered, so these are called as HTML tags or elements. So these are available in between the less than and the greater than sign. That's the tradition, that's the order in every HTML version. The tags to be used are written between these signs. So normally we start the HTML coding using the element, using the tag called as HTML. And once you open the tag, it is necessary to close the tag. The specific tag is open here and it is to be closed. The closing tag is having the slash at the beginning of the code. This is the forward slash. Right. So then, okay. Now this is the beginning of my code, and then and after writing all the codes corresponding to the web page, I have to finish the coding. Then I have the closing HTML tag as well. No as well. But most of the 90% of the tags are with the closing tag as well. Right. Now I start HTML. This is to indicate that my web page coding is to be started. Here we need to have two sections. One is called as the head section, and I may close the head section here. And then we have another section in the web page called as body section. You people may know if you did ICT for your O levels. Then I am starting the body section, and then closing the body section, and I'm having that closing HTML part as well. Now this is the order, this is the structure of a HTML code. Normally the header section is used to include some technical details. We'll see how to include them. Technical data inserted under the header section. The body part is used to insert codes for objects to be visible in the web page. As an example, in my web page, if I need to include an image, this is a web page finally, open from the web browser. There I won't have a photo. Sometimes I won't have a table to explain my concepts. Sometimes I won't have paragraphs. I won't have a bullet list. They are the objects to be included in my web page. This is my web page finally. This is what the users are going to see. This is what we do in order to make this web page. Now you are clear. So if I want to include objects just like lists, tables, images into my web page, what should I do? I must write the relevant codes under the body part. Then header part is used for some technical works. We may learn what they are. We are not going in deep, but there are some technical works. But only one useful thing is done under this one. The title is displayed under the header. We'll see. Right? So then this is the order how the web pages are going to be. HTML code is not case sensitive. What is that? Case sensitivity. That is that capital symbol is not a matter. If we write the code head in symbol, or if I am writing that with full capital or mix, no problem, they'll be accepted. Not case sensitive. That's a benefit for us. We don't care about the latest version, the HTML5, the way we start the coding is different. That's how we indicate that we are using HTML version 5. This is not 5. This is not the 5 version. If we are going to give the codes in HTML5, we have to begin our coding with this exclamation mark, doc type, that's a single word, with a space we write HTML. This is how we start the coding in HTML5. If this is not there, the web page is falling under HTML4, 3 or earlier versions, not 5. So in our level, our syllabus is strictly using HTML5. So you must start your HTML documents using the exclamation doc type HTML. That's a point. Easy for us to print. So therefore, I'm going for the header part next. I may indent that from the main code. That is to say that this header is inside the HTML part. That is just to indicate. Even if you write under the same column, no problem, it will work nicely. But to make your code neat, I'm going to have this. Then under the header part, I'm going to have the inside the header, I'm going to include the title, telling that my first page. Now I finish my title. Then after finishing my title, I'm going to close the title. Then closing title tag. That's okay. Title part is over. And even I don't need to have any other code under the header section. So I'm going to close the header part as well. Closing the head section. Right. So then I'm going for the next part. That is the body section. So after closing the head, I'm going to start body. Then we know that under the body, we are going to include many more objects to be visible. Right. So then under the body part, I will include one tag called as H1. We learn what they are. That is the header part, title, the big topic. Say that topic 1, just a fake web page name, topic 1. And after finishing that topic, I'm going to close that tag called as H1. Then I'm going to have a paragraph. These are to be available in the web page. They are the objects. Then I can say first para and closing that paragraph as well. Fine. Now that may be the end. Therefore, I'm going to close this body part. And then I'm going to close the main HTML. Now, did you see a certain order where I am opening the tags as well as closing the tags? So this is a general web page ID. So I open the HTML part, and with the same alignment, I'm closing HTML. That is that these are of the same level. All these tags are under the main HTML. Therefore, I'm indenting them. I'm just pushing them in. And this title is inside the header part, so I push that further. When it comes to H1 and HP, they are still under the body, so I just indent them from the body tag. That's how I am maintaining indentation. Now my coding is clear, neat. Next thing is, I started the header. Where did I close the header part? As soon as I finish all the heading works. After finishing the header, then only I started body. Inside the body, I started the first heading topic, and that is closed. But when I am closing H1, I didn't close the body part. Still the body is going on. And once I finish all the body objects, then only I am going to close the body. And the header HTML is also closed when I am finishing the whole website coding. I think you are clear, right? Now, when I am writing this code, what would be the output and how can I see my web page? Now, we know that web pages are running in web browser. Can you remember that? In the client component, we need to have the web browser. So, where do we write this code now? Are we writing this in the web server or in your own computer? We are writing them in my own computer. So, for the static web pages, you can remember the word static. The content are not changing from user to user. Everyone will see this. If I am to open this, I see this. Someone else to open this is going to see this. Right. So then somehow, when it comes to static web pages, we don't need to have a special server to check your web page. This is not to publish the website into the internet. If it is to be available in the internet, we must have a server. That's the rule to publish them in the internet. Now I'm not talking about publishing. We just check the web page. What would it be? Then I am running in my laptop. I'm writing this code in the laptop. If I am to open this using a web browser in my own computer, that's enough, right? I think you understood it. I am writing this code in my laptop. This is a code. And this code is executed using a browser. Then I can see it. But this is not available in internet, just for my testing purpose. Right. Now, next thing is, where do I write this code? In which software? They are in Notepad. Okay. Once you write them in Notepad, the next essential thing is, you must save this code written in Notepad using the extension, file extension HTML, or else you have to give any name and you have to have the extension called as HTML, or you can use HTML. This should be the extension to be saved. Though we write them in Notepad, if you save them in HTML or HTML extension, they will be saved as a web page. This becomes a web page now. So when you double click on this file now, that will act as a web page opening using a web browser. So I'll do a small demonstration here since I have the computer at the moment. The exclamation, I may write the same code I gave you. Exclamation doc type right. Once I did this, Now I told that I wrote this in Notepad, but I want to turn this into a web page. How should I do it? By writing that in the, by saving that with the extension HTML. This is the next thing. How do I save this? You go to the file saving, file, save as. Then in your company, you may browse it, where to be saved. But normally, now follow this. I think you can see my screen. When you are saving this is a main mistake where people do. You can give a name here, file name. You may browse the place to save it. That's okay. After browsing, you are giving a name. So I may give the name as first page. That's a name. But I told you to give the extension .html. This should be given. Still, that's not enough. You must change the save type. Below that, you see that this is a file name I gave you, name.html, essential. Then below that, it comes as save the type as text.txt. Should the type be text or not? It should not be text. Therefore, we'll select this as all files. If you didn't do that, this will not be a web page. Right? I can open this. So I go to the place where I saved. I save that in the desktop. This is a folder. Inside that HTML codes. Then there should be a file called as first page. Here I found it. Then now you see that this is saved as a Google Chrome file. Though I did that using Notepad. Why? I gave the proper extension HTML. So I may double click on this. Now you see this as a web page which is opening using Google Chrome. And topic 1 and the first para, they are there. I think you are clear. Document body section. Now this is the most important part in our level. Why? We are going to include many more things to our web page using the body, the heading, paragraph, and many more things. Right. Now here we have the elements: paragraph, p tag, the opening tag, and the closing tag. Defines a paragraph. So if you write something within the opening p and closing p, that means a simple paragraph. And then we go for div, opening div and close div. Defines a section of the document. So this is a little bit complex area for people. I'll explain that in detail. But then if you go for a paragraph, this is the first paragraph. Right. Then I'm going to go for the second paragraph. This is second paragraph. Paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. When it comes to paragraph, that is opening within, or that is the paragraph begins with a new line. It won't continue from the previous line. If the earlier paragraph ends or finishes somewhere here, if I am starting another paragraph, that is beginning from the next line. Then the other thing is, if we go for a paragraph, at the end of the paragraph, this is the end of the first paragraph, I think you can see, and this is the beginning of the second paragraph. Then normally there will be a blank line in between the ending of the previous paragraph and beginning of the new paragraph. There will be a blank line. You understand? But now I may talk about that div. So we go for a certain paragraph now. This is the first paragraph, first line. Right. Then this is the end of the line. We are still under the first paragraph. Paragraph is not finished yet. Then within the paragraph, I want to define a block. Now there are situations when you are writing essays, when you are writing these big articles, you may have the same paragraph, but within the paragraph, I want to have a separate block. Then what we do is, we are going to define a div inside it. So this is not a separate paragraph. This blue color thing is defining a separate div section. Still we are under the paragraph. Then after finishing that div, we can continue to the rest of the paragraph. Then this is the place where the paragraph finishes. And this blue color line gives you the div. Now are you clear? So div is defining a text or block of text even within the paragraph which is not damaged in the same paragraph we have. Now, when we are finishing one paragraph and starting another paragraph, we had a blank line in between to separate the paragraphs. But when it comes to the div, we don't keep that blank line. This is the paragraph, the first section of the paragraph, and starting the first line of the div. No blank line available. Again, after finishing the div and continuation of the paragraph, no blank line is there. Remember that blank line will be available after finishing a paragraph as well as before beginning of a paragraph. That's a big point which was tested in our past papers. Even it may be tested in the future. Now concentrate on the code given on the screen and try to generate the output according to the knowledge you have. Before running, I'll explain how it should be. Now this is a title, that's okay, that is first page. Then below that we have the heading, difference between P and div. So then the heading is big text. Then a paragraph is started. When a paragraph is starting, what happens? There will be a blank line kept. So I just indicate the blank line using some dotted lines. These are not appearing, just to indicate. And then it says at first paragraph. First paragraph, but the text under this is not larger like H1. H1 is big. Then this is the end of the paragraph. We have only one sentence, unfortunately. Then second paragraph goes for second paragraph. Then after finishing the first paragraph, going for the next paragraph, is there a blank line or not? Yes, definitely. So there will be a blank line here. It should be clearly visible. And then we go to the text called as second paragraph. This is what the highlighted area. Right. Then after that we have the div section. Then if it is div, is that continue from the place where we stopped earlier or comes to a new line? Comes to a new line, but is there a blank line now or goes to the direct next line? Direct next line. So earlier in between paragraph we have a blank line. This is not with any text, but now no text. This is directly telling that the first div. After that, the second div. That's after the first div. This is the first div. Then is there a blank line or is that continuing for the from the same line? No continuation. Div now goes for new line. But is there a blank line? Still not. Then the text, the second div is there. Right. Then the third div comes here. Is there a blank line? Still not. The third paragraph comes. Now what happened to the third paragraph text? Is there a blank line or not? Yes, can you remember that? Before starting a paragraph and after the paragraph, there will be a blank line. So now we are going to start the new paragraph. So there should be a blank line here. Then only the new paragraph will get started. That is the third paragraph. There will be a blank line. Then after that we have div. Then when you go to the next div, will there be a blank line? Yes, after the paragraph, there will be a blank line. And here, there will be a blank line. I think you can't see the text I am writing here. Then that is that the fourth div. I'll run this and show you. Fine. Right. Then understand the point that whenever we start a paragraph, there will be a blank line above that and below that. If you go for div, no blank lines before starting or ending, but the text will start from a new line.